As the free agency buzz is now winding down, I decided to take a look at a few recent moves that were shocking to many. Moves that shook fan bases, incited drama, and even allowed for yet another dubious organized homecoming. So, without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Joe Thornton recently signed a one-year contract valued at $700,000 with the Toronto Maple Leafs. After 15 seasons with San Jose, which is a really, really long time. He was drafted by Boston, first overall in 1997, before some of you all were even born. So, very, very lengthy, eventful, great career in the league, especially with San Jose. He was all-time franchise leader in assists, played the second most games as a Shark behind Patrick Marleau. So he really became part of that team, part of the culture over time. He was captain for a while. He was just a big integral part of that organization. So to see him leave, I'm sure, isn't easy for Sharks fans right now. It's another piece that was there for such a long time, that was a part of a lot of these deep postseason runs, a lot of these really good seasons. I mean, on paper, Sharks, no disrespect, but they were notorious for a while for getting in the playoffs, having great seasons, being first in their division, first or second, and then getting to the postseason and then kind of choking. So Thornton was obviously a part of that heartbreak that Sharks fans came to know so well. But he has left, obviously a huge legacy behind. He has nothing to hang his head about. And it obviously made sense as far as the Toronto angle is concerned. He's from Ontario. He's trying to win the Stanley Cup, kind of the last crack at it per se, before he hangs up the skates for good. I believe he's 41. So he's getting up there. He knows his time is almost up. So he's trying to kind of make the most of it as far as Stanley Cup chance is concerned. And obviously Thornton sees the Leafs as a Stanley Cup contender because he signed with them. So he sees much potential with them moving forward. I think that be a lot like Marleau was with the Leafs as far as the veteran leadership that he will bring to that team and the vast amounts of playoff experience that he has. That's going to be very valuable, I believe, to the Maple Leafs, even more so than just his offensive capabilities and expertise. It was really hard for his teammates. I saw tweets from Kevin LeBanc, Brent Burns, that were kind of emotional, saying they were going to miss him. So this was obviously rough for the fan base and for Thornton's teammates. I can't even imagine playing with someone for so long and just getting so accustomed to that and then seeing them go. I think it would be a really hard adjustment to make, not only as a player, but just as a person. You make these friendships and then you have to see them go, and then you have to reset. This is going to be his 23rd season, I believe. He's going to maybe have a chance at winning the Stanley Cup if the Leafs make the playoffs. Okay, Leafs fans probably hate me now. On that note, Cody Ceci signed a one-year, $1.25 million contract with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I had no idea, being a Pens fan, I had no idea that Ceci was even on the Pens' radar. I had no clue that this was a potential possibility, that we were talking to him, that we saw a fit, nothing. I woke up, I was completely blindsided on Twitter. I was like, what the hell is going on? And basically, being a Pens fan right now, that's kind of been the mantra, what's going on? Rutherford has signed, we'll go down the line here, he signed Jack Johnson, which we all know, he signed Mike Matheson, and now he signs Cody Ceci. I think there's a trend here, and I think that there's a common kind of element to all of these defensemen. There's a commonality here, in that they've struggled, they're trying to bounce back, he sees, he wants to give them a second chance type of thing, and I really don't quite understand it, to be honest. I understand every now and then that you do want to give a player a shot, that you might see potential in them that maybe no one does, or maybe you can bring something out in them that they maybe didn't know was there in their game. But doing this over and over and over and over, especially after you freaking buy out Jack Johnson, and you're having to take on that and you sign Ceci. One good thing here, which most people say, is the term and the amount. That's pretty much the only good two things that are going here, in my opinion. It doesn't make sense, though. Maybe I could see it as in maybe like an all-around depth guy in case we have a lot of injuries. We had tons of injuries last year, and maybe Rutherford is seeing a need in that regard. Maybe to kind of supplement the lineup, but I don't see Ceci being the guy even then, in my opinion. We have Chad Ruedel, who he's not, he's not putting up tons of points. He's not the flashiest guy out there. He's going to be on the third pairing if he's on the roster to start next season, most likely. But he's signed through next season for $700,000. Okay, $700,000. Cody Ceci signed for $1.25 million. You see my point here? Ceci, he put up 6 points in 41 games played. And I mean, Ceci's younger, but if you look at the stats, they're strikingly similar. 56 games played and 8 points. So you could see they're both kind of, I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of Ceci's game other than him missing the wide open net basically from up close. I haven't seen a lot of Ceci's game. I'm going to assume, looking at these point totals and his previous point totals, that he's not a very offensive type of defenseman. So there looks like to be a little bit of similarity, obviously, in points and probably style of game. Like I said, I'm still kind of blitzed here. I'm just stunned. I'm confused. I'm kind of like we felt when Taylor Hall signed with Buffalo. Like, what the heck is going on? It feels like backtracking, in my opinion. It just feels like backtracking. Third topic here, third move, I should say, was the one that kind of sparked some drama. It was the Brandon Saad trade. He was traded along with Dennis Gilbert, traded to Colorado for Nikita Zadorov and Anton Lindholm. He was the last of the organization to go without a full no-move clause that was part of the dynasty. So he joined right before their second cup. So he joined permanently right before the Hawks won their second of 3 cups. So he was part of 2 of those runs. So I guess technically he wasn't like full-on part of the 3-cup dynasty, but close enough. He's been there for a while. So now when you look at it, Taze, Kane, and Seabrook and Keith are all that remain. No moves. I believe Seabrook is the one, his kind of changes after. It's going to be like a modified no move, no trade, whatever. Keeping that in mind, it looks like that the GM is trying to really, really kickstart this rebuild. He's just completely moving the core out. We saw Corey Crawford go. Corey Crawford obviously signed elsewhere. He wasn't traded, but the mood right now is just massive change all of a sudden. It's a lot. I feel like for Hawks fans, it's probably a lot. I mean, you kind of know that the time's coming. I mean, being a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, I can kind of sympathize right now. We're kind of in the same type of awkward limbo, but I don't see Jim Rutherford as crazy as he seems to be right now. I don't see him shipping out Letang or shipping out Malkin or whoever. I don't see him making huge moves like that. Obviously, Saad is not Evgeny Malkin, but you get my point. Anyways, all of this apparently just completely rattled Jonathan Toews, and I heard about this when Spit and Chicklets, not a big deal. Jonathan Toews is really upset. Corey Crawford leaving and Brandon Saad. Here's a quote directly from Jonathan Toews to one of the reporters at The Athletic. I'm just going to read this off. The expectation for other leaders on this team and myself is to come ready to training camp every year to be a playoff team. I've never been told that we were going to go through a rebuild. That has never been communicated to me, for that matter. A lot of this comes as a shock because it's completely a different direction than we expected. Before I close this off, Saad was in the last year of his contract. He had a modified no trade clause, which obviously he had some saying where he was going to go, but he wasn't that old. I could kind of understand like maybe a Seabrook, moving Seabrook or someone like that, but he was only 27. His production, I looked at it and he seemed like he was like maybe starting like early to regress maybe a little bit, but it's obviously maybe a little bit of ahead of schedule, which sparked this controversy. But I don't know, guys. maybe we could see more of the previous dynasty moves somehow. I mean, if they're approached and they're asked to waive their clauses, Hayes, in that interview, the quote that I read in that same interview, he said that he would not be waiving his clause. So I guess right now the mood, as far as Hayes is concerned, is a no. But hey, you never know. We saw it with Marc-Andre Fleury, being a Pens fan before he went to Vegas. He was asked to move his, and he did. So hey, you never know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been getting crazy, things been happening, but maybe we'll see a little bit more action coming.